A little girl named Beverly grew up on a farm in Yamhill, Oregon, a town so small it had no library. Her mother arranged with the state library to have books sent to Yamhill, and she served as librarian in an upstairs room over a bank. There, young Beverly learned to love books. When the family moved to Portland, a school librarian encouraged Beverly to write children's books. The advice stuck, and many years later, in 1950 to be exact, she published her very first one. I know all this because several years ago my daughter did a school project. She brought home one of those big trifold presentation boards and a list of famous names with instructions to choose just one. I started reading down that list of famous and infamous presidents and politicians and celebrated historical figures. And my heart skipped a beat when I saw the name of Beverly Cleary. She's an author, I said. She wrote children's books. And then a little misty-eyed, I added, she's my childhood. Henry Huggins, Ribsy the dog, Ellen Tebbets, Beezus, and of course Ramona the pest, they were my childhood companions. Now I've often wondered, what was so meaningful and magical about the books I read when I was young? I mean, I didn't even have a horrible childhood to escape from. Life was sweet, even idyllic, growing up as the fifth of 8 in a small town in southeastern Washington in the 60s. Then I read this about Mrs. Cleary and her writing. She had decided she would write the kind of books that she longed to read, but was unable to find on the library shelves. Funny stories about her neighborhood and the sort of children she knew. Aha! We don't just read stories to escape, but we read to see ourselves, to be validated somehow within the pages of a book. I have found this to be true about my debut novel, Ideal High, written for the teenage market. I have received so many comments and reviews from readers young and old along the lines of this one. Any book that deals with the subject of bullying hits very close to home for me, so when I read the blurb for Ideal High, I knew I had to read it. And this one, bullying is a big factor in the story, and that struck a chord with me. This person then went on to describe a few sad details about her high school experience. Some reviewers find that other themes resonate. I can relate to a character that faced a horrible tragedy and perseveres. And speaking of the main character, someone wrote, "She is so strong, or at least is trying to be, and I admire her so much for that. I lost a friend from school back when I was in 5th grade, and that was so heartbreaking. I still miss him and think of him sometimes. Thank you for writing a story like this." And I love this one. "What happened to Taryn is horrible. If I was her, I would drink, but she doesn't. She takes action to fix what's wrong." As mentioned, my main character's name is Taryn, and I've lost count of how many girls have written to say, "My name is Taryn." They may never find their name on those personalized mini license plates, but they'll find it in my book. I guess I'm not surprised that readers see themselves in my story, because the idea for it grew out of real events. A news story about an accident on a school trip where several students were injured, and the memory of a girl from my youth that everyone seemed to joke about, but otherwise ignored. She began to haunt my thoughts as I pictured her in my mind's eye, face red, eyes down, hugging the halls of our junior high in between classes. As an adult, I felt horrible that I had never had the courage to speak to her or even just offer a simple smile. The school trip accident and the memory of the bullied girl melded, and I began to wonder, if there was a tragic accident involving several high school students, how would things be different? Would bullies still be bullies, or would everyone be just a little bit nicer because they had faced a hard thing together? That's where stories are born, in the great what if. Ideal High is at its heart a mystery. What really happened that night at Ritter's Crossing when 7 popular students were killed in a tragic fire at the after party gone terribly wrong? At a recent library event where I was presenting, a woman walked by and read a little blurb about my book from my display poster. "Oh, that's hard," she said. Then she turned and walked away. What I wasn't given time to tell her, I will tell you. Yes, Taryn faces a very hard thing, but spoiler alert, she confronts it head on and she triumphs. She proves there's life after loss. She overcomes tragedy. Just like you and I can do hard things and overcome any challenge. You may not still be in high school, but you will see yourself in her story. Hard, yes, But my story's not dark or edgy. There's nothing dark about digging deep inside yourself to that place that says, I won't give in and I won't give up. To that place that allows you to look outside yourself to lift another. I've been asked by interviewers, what do you want your readers to come away with after reading your book? First and foremost, I want them to just plain enjoy reading it. I want to give them the same satisfying experiences I have had my whole life while curled up with a good book. Anything else is a bonus. Except I should mention hope. Definitely come away with hope. And that's why I love this quote from Beverly Cleary. I didn't start out writing to give children hope, but I'm glad some of them found it. When Beverly Cleary turned 100 years old in 2016, yes, she just turned 104 this year, Kay DiCamillo, a renowned children's author herself, sent her a message. I wanted to tell you happy birthday from my 8-year-old self. You made me believe in impossibilities. You made me feel seen. So happy birthday, Beverly Cleary, and thank you from my 8-year-old self too. My name is Valerie Ipson, and I'm pleased to serve now as the writer-in-residence this summer at the Apache Junction Public Library. Like I did with my novel, Ideal High, maybe you have a story idea, but you don't know how to get started. You don't know how to put it down on paper. Well, I mean, on a computer. I am here to answer your questions, and I would love to consult with you on Zoom or through email, whatever works best for you. Just click the link that's provided on the website. Also, come join the conversation over on Facebook. Just search for Writer-in-Residence, Apache Junction Public Library. Thank you, and hope to connect soon. Stay safe.